You better believe it. You better believe it's that time. It's that time with a mask and some gloves on, baby. It's Renovation Nation. Yes, it is. And if you're catching us live right now on Facebook, well, I got the gloves, I got the mask, I gotta get this stuff off. I tell you what, people, that's the only time you'll probably see me with it. But you know what the worst sound to hear is? It's, reminds me of the old Flex movie of when they, when he went to see the doctor. But anyways, this is Chad Rowland. I'm owner of RTM Roofing, sitting here, hitting mics, jumping around, getting all crazy this morning. It's live and Saturday, and you're listening to Renovation Nation here on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know how they do it here, people. They always have great shows here. All the great Saturday shows that are going on. I mean, there are too many to mention, but the only one you need to know about is Renovation Nation, because we're coming at you live from Studio 378 up on the hill, undisclosed location. We got all kinds of things going on today. I've got Mr. Pat Riley. You remember Mr. Pat Riley, Spider Eye? Talked to him a little bit earlier this morning. He's going to come on, trying to do some non-social distancing, but it's been still a crazy couple weeks. And this last week, I got rest. I took my 3 days off. Whew, that was nice. I have to tell you, people, that was pretty good. But haven't been able to get some people out here because it's just we've been so busy with work, and I hadn't had time to do my, as I always say, due diligence and get someone in here. But I've got Pat coming on today. We're going to talk some Spider Eye. We're going to talk some COVIDity. We're going to talk some non-mask wearing stuff and see what all's going on out there in his world. And, everybody's world. There's all kinds of craziness going on in the world. People are losing their minds. I mean, I'm not going to go into all of it, but some of it's really, really terrible. And the backside of it's just as terrible. So I'll just leave it there. But what else am I going to talk about today? I've got all kinds of things to talk about, I think. I was trying to do my pre-review here early. And, well, I'm always running about 4 minutes late, but some people will tell you 20. But last week I was finishing with some reviews and things like that of RTM Roofing, letting you know, I told you about insurance, told you about ACV, RCV. If you don't know what that is, talk to your insurance agent. And if you don't have an insurance agent, I can give you numerous names of top quality people we network with. I know personally, people in my office know personally, and we actually deal with our clients, so I know how they treat them. So anyhow, let's see. I'm gonna jump to some reviews. And let's see where we're going to go here. We're going to go back to, I think, the Better Business Bureau. What about that? Let me get right here and let's see if I can't find, let's see, Stacy R. And it's from 9/17/2019. And it was RTM Roofing is easy to do business with. Carly and Graham listened to what I needed and responded promptly to any questions. The team arrived on time, did the work as agreed upon, and charged the exact same amount in the quote provided. But thank you. Thank you for that, Stacy R. Yes, we do. I always tell my clients, anybody I'm ever out with or any of my guys are out with, that once I give you a number, if I underestimate it, I ate it, right? That's why I don't immediately give you a number right when I walk on site. Some people think, hey, you can give me an estimate today. And I'm like, no, sir, no, ma'am. I'm coming here to get all my measurements, get all my information, check for 2 layers, check your penetrations, flashings, all that stuff that goes into a complete roofing system. And then I go back and sit down at my desk and study it for a minute to make sure I know what you need. I know what you want. Everybody wants the Ferrari. But if you can, like I always say, if you can drive that Ferrari only 15 miles an hour, why are you spending $100,000 on it? No. You need a nice BMW, Mercedes, Ford Mustang GT, Cobra. So, I mean, there's needs and wants. Everybody wants everything, but you really need certain things. And when it comes to roofing, we know what you need. That's the point. Otherwise, why call us? We are the professionals at doing that. But, and there's a big but, do your research. I tell you all the time, we're certified in 4 brands. IKO, Certainty, Atlas, and Owens Corning. That's my 4 favorite. Any of those are like 4 different cars, from a Yugo to a Mustang to a Nissan Sentra to a Mercedes to whatever you can imagine. They're all going to pretty much get 200,000 miles or should. Now, what is your need? Or what do you want? Well, I want that car. I want a fancy Ferrari. Okay, two-seater, no back seat, blah blah blah. You're driving to California with all the stuff you own in it. Well, that's not what you need. You need well, that'd be a minivan. But anyway, you see what I mean. So when we come out, I know a lot of people think they know what they need. They know what they want, but they don't. So we come to help explain it. But do your research. So as I was talking about the four brands, just like cars, you can look at research all four brands, and you'll find someone that doesn't like each one of them. You'll find someone that doesn't like colors in each one of them. You'll find someone that says they've been sued. All of them have been sued, like Ford, Chevy, and GMC, and all the others, Dodge, and everybody else. They've all had factory recalls. They've all been sued. They've all blah, blah, blah. We know it. That's life. It's man-made products. Nothing's ever perfect. Well, except when RTM Roofing does it. But my point is that do your research, but take a collective of it. It's like this COVID. Anyway, it's like this stuff going on today. You hear one thing, don't wear a mask. You hear wear a mask. You hear it's not transferable by air. You hear it is. You hear this. You hear that. You read online the world ended last week. Find the middle ground. There's always a middle. He said, she said, and the truth is in the middle. It always is. So I'll remind you about that. But do your research, because, like I said, when you think you know what you need, sometimes you really don't. But people are happy to sell it to you if you really don't understand that you don't. I run into that a lot. It's like I tell people all the time. When I come out and you've got you think you've got wind damage or storm damage, or you're calling your insurance because you've got you're going to get them to pay for it. And I get out there, or my guys get out there, and we look and we say, okay, you've got an 8-year-old roof, 3-tab architecture, it doesn't matter. 8-year-old roof is a good roof at that point, or should be, or something went wrong, something went south somewhere. And then I get out there and I say, oh, there's just, maybe 2 missing shingles, maybe a limb hit a shingle. We had a lot of trees down, something like that. And I go, well, that's a, $250 to $350 to $450 to, $1,000 repair. You've got a $1,000 deductible. Why would you file? I mean, don't get me wrong, you can always file. It's always your decision. But I personally wouldn't in that case, because the roof is repairable. It's only on one slope, in one little section, less than a bundle, 4 or 5 shingles. The insurance 9.8, I'll say, out of 10 times is not going to cover that damage. And now you filed a claim for a wash. It's a $400 repair. You have a $1,000 deductible. You're not getting any money. You get a claim. It's not the end of the world having a claim. Some people say it is. Some people say it won't. It is what it is. If you didn't cause it, the claim's a claim. And you don't know what you don't know. But that's why we go out and look at a lot of times before people call. They'll call us to find out. And we'll go out there because we do a lot of insurance work. We do a lot of retail work. But we know pretty much every insurance out here. I don't know of one I haven't worked with. I'm sure there are, or is. But I can't tell you the name off the top of my head. But but my point is that we understand what their adjusters, their protocols. Every insurance has a different protocol. Find out what yours is. And then we come out and address it. You got a 15-year-old 3-tab, which is pretty much the end of its life. Oh, it's a 25-year shingle. Not around here. Not unless you maintenance it every single year. Then Jamie Oldham will tell you can get 25 years out of it, probably even more. But the average roof replacement's 7 to 10 years with hail and wind around here. Give or take a few. So, look at it this way. 2012, that huge hailstorm that came through. What are we now? 8 years later, and the big windstorm came through, and the tornado came through. Yeah, that's about every 8 to 10 years. 7 to 10, somewhere in there. So, but, oh well, I gotta put my earbud down for my Facebook people so they can actually hear the bump music. I hadn't got slick enough yet to get it there. And it's probably loud because I told Kevin to keep it bumped up so they don't always know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a good day. I didn't even get to more of my fun facts and stuff, but we're going to come back here in a minute with Mr. Pat Riley. See what he has to say with that spider eye of his. You know how that is. You're always listening to Renovation Nation on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Be back in a couple. Cool. Good. good to say, man. It's hard sitting there. I miss Kevin. Let me put it that way. I gotta give him a shout out. But I definitely miss Kevin. Let's see. Let me save that. Boom. Go back to the beginning. And then I gotta turn that track off, and I'll turn this one on right here. Turn that off record. Put that one on record. So now let me cue this up where it'll be ready to get Mr. Spider on. Hope y'all doing great out there. It's a beautiful day. If you've been trapped inside, get out. Get some sun. Let's see here. And for all you Facebook people, yeah, that was you. That's the only time you'll ever see me, and it's on this video. Unless it's, truly deadly in my world. All right, let's see. I think I'm ready. Let's see what we got. I need to unmute that. Need to mute that. None others are on. So, check. Yep. Okay, right there. Put that up. Hope y'all can hear this on this. Next week I will have some little speakers around here or something. Let me go ahead and turn that on right there. Chia. All right, let's roll with it. Good. Yeah, you know it is. Woo! Yes, it is. It's Renovation Nation time, live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, I'm going to extend this out a little bit. Yeah. You know it's a beautiful Saturday out there. I was just telling people on Facebook. If you've been trapped inside, it's almost Friday. That was Thursday. Get out and get some sun. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today out here in Middle Tennessee. Right outside of Nashville I am. Sitting here at Studio 378, live on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh yeah, what a day, what a day, what a day. Got some rest last weekend, as I mentioned. You want to get my big buddy, Mr. Pat Riley, on right here in just a second. Going to call him right up, but I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm Chad Rowland again, the host, owner of RTM Roofing. If I didn't say that, I rarely do sometimes anymore. And I forgot to mention, I'm social distancing around here because no one's in the studio with me except Mishka, my German Shepherd. The old girl's over there laying down. She's had a good one. But I might get her on the interview here in a minute, get her speaking. But let me go ahead and get right into it and see if I can't get the big infamous Mr. Pat Riley on the phone and see what we can do here. Let's see if I can get him on. Come on, Mr. Pat. Yeah, that's two. I might edit that out a little bit of the live one. See if he's going. If he's not going to answer, then I'll just keep rolling here for a minute. But let's see what he's got. No, not going to answer? Okay, Pat.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
You had one more ring, big man. How you doing?
I'm doing terrific. How you doing?
Man, no one would listen to me if I said anything different other than I'm doing good.
There you go.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. We're cooking along. What's up with you?
Man, don't know it. Just blowing and going with all this windstorm. How's your roof, by the way?
The roof is absolutely gorgeous.
That's
it really
awesome.
improves the house quality, and the neighborhood loves it as well.
Awesome.
They go by and bow to us when they come by the house.
Love it, man. So what's been up in your world, Pat?
Doing a little bit of BI work, a little bit of research activity on some things that I can't really particularly talk about. I've been watching the world completely devolve into total chaos.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
Yes.
I don't get it, but it's above my pay grade.
Reminds me of something that Abby Hoffman said back during the 60s. Says the whole world is going to become one desolate mess, and said, what are you going to do when that happens? He says, I'll probably just lay back, have a joint, and groove on the rubble, man.
Okay.
Groove on the rubble.
Well, it is what it is sometimes, and you can only do what you can do. Yeah, it's a lot of sad things going on. So you're not into that contact tracing, are you? Just checking.
Yeah. No, I'm following I'm trying to sort out all the different pieces of medical information that's going out there. People say, well, you got to trust science, but scientists disagree on things. There's all kinds of, there's conflicting statistics. There's new granular information coming out every single day. So who do you trust in an environment like this? You got to trust God. There isn't anything else.
You do? Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. Yeah, it does. It does. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. I mean, because like you said, scientific is based on scientific fact, right?
That's exactly right.
When I had to do my thesis on hops, when Dr. Salve was making me write my 89-page documentary, if you will, it was if I had stats that were wrong or had other variables that weren't accounted for, then it was a moot point. They were thrown out. Go, or add them to it and show it.
Yeah, that's right. I was in debating all throughout school, and one of the first things you learned is you can't trust statistics. It's become a cliche. There's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics.
That's right.
You can manipulate information into any kind of so-called fact that you wanted to.
Well, you hear it all the time in business. You hear the bookkeeper or the secretary or the vice president or whoever has been cooking the books, and me running my company, I've always heard that, but then I make sure my books are correct. But I realize how easily, if you don't know what you're looking at and how it got there, I can show you anything.
Yeah.
And it would be 100% true in your mind.
An accountant told me that one time. I said, you can't argue with math. He says, it depends on who's doing the books.
Yeah. Hey, that's exactly right. I can show you 2 and 2 is 4 all day long when it's 3.8.
Yeah.
But it's the crazy stuff like that. And it is what it is. I mean, what do you just gotta, I'm about personal responsibility, right? And,
absolutely.
And now, does that mean I'm gonna go out and be crazy and do something stupid that would hurt and harm others? No. That's where common sense comes to prevail.
But then you take personal responsibility for it. You apologize, you make amends, and then you get on with your life and do it better the next time. That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's what I thought. But see, that's people using logic.
Yeah, well, we can't have that.
We can't have that around here. That's not accepted in Common Core.
I admire more than anybody else in the world today is the astronauts, because they're getting the hell off the damn planet.
I thought that the other day. I was like, they've got the best, forget the best whatever job, they've got the best seat in town, because they're going up the right. Now, when you hear COVID's in space, I'm going to lose it.
That's going to be a problem,
I'm absolutely going to lose it.
Well, they've got some separation, I'll tell you. How many thousand miles?
I don't know. Well, a few, yeah. Yeah, but still, but not to negate that there is a virus out there. I'm not one of these guys going, well, this thing just isn't real. It's all made up. No, it's not. There is a real virus. But my thing is, and it's deadly to people that it's deadly to. It's not 100% deadly, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like the flu's not 100% deadly. People get flu shots and still die of it. So, I mean, it is what it is. To me, everything in life has risks. There's nothing risk-free in life that I know of, unless you know something.
No, I do not.
And so the long story short is take the appropriate precaution for the appropriate risk for yourself, number one. You got to protect yourself, right? Or am I wrong in that?
Absolutely. At least as far as I know, we still have a right to defend ourselves.
You better believe we do.
Unless it's in a court of law, in which case if somebody accuses you, you're guilty.
Presumed guilty, not innocent anymore. But I equate it to rock climbing. You see these people climbing, these crazy, I forget the name of those walls and bluffs. You hear them all over, Yosemite or whatever. Anyhow, my point is that some people will go up there free-handed, no ropes, no nothing, and climb away and be hundreds and even thousands of feet off the ground. To me, that's absolutely insane. And if I'm standing below you, you should be protecting me. But I should be able to get out of the way. But now if I want to climb it and have a rope or not have a rope, that's my decision. and I accept that risk. But you shouldn't be roped off and me climbing freehanding and go, you need to have a rope on. Well, you need to keep yours on because I'm fine. So, anyway, so we're gonna do a couple segments with you, okay?
Yeah.
So if you got time, I really appreciate the last minute call. I saw your message one. I'm like, hey, you want to come on? But we've got 4 or 5 minutes still left in this segment. Tell people, since we haven't done it, and I figure most people already know who you are since we talk about you on the show a lot. Who are you and what you do, Mr. Riley?
Well, I've been in the broadcasting business here in Nashville for quite some time, and of course, a private investigator. So I'm in the information business, whether it was a disc jockey or else a talk show host or else news, even sales and business on certain aspects of it. It's all about information. Information today is power. It really always has been, but today the entire world is geared toward information. Whoever has the information is the one who wins. When I was in the intelligence business, there used to be a joke, and the joke was, they know.
Yeah.
And the other party says, well, we know they know. And the other says, yes, but they know we know they know. Oh, my God.
It's just all about crime, isn't it?
Whoever has the last piece of information, the last piece of accurate information, is the one who wins the battle. So that's what I do.
Well, you said something there. The last piece of accurate information.
That's exactly right.
Not just information that you beat down someone's throat and they give in and assume you're right.
No, if you got the last jewel of information and the other party does not know you have it, then you're the one who has the power.
That's a beautiful spot to be in too.
So that's what we do. I don't, anybody knows, I also do quite a bit of acting. I've been in music videos and so forth. I do a podcast called Omnet7 at podbean.com. Media intelligence is just kind of a little conservative, satiristic piece. We're going to put together some observations on what I believe is ridiculous in society, essentially. So that's what I do.
It's almost what I do. It's almost what I do, but I add roofing to it.
Yeah, there you go.
So are you? Let's go to the acting. I've had a few actors on here, some comedians on here recently. One was a freelance writer in New York and talking about stuff, and people are, well, number one, that was a few weeks back, and people were more scared than they are now. But
Yeah.
these same people were talking, they don't know where it's going. And like in acting, they're now having to do Zoom in auditions and do comedians are doing shows, online, and you don't get the crowd response, which is a big feed. You feed off that. This is a much easier show today for me talking to you than just sitting here doing it myself like I did last week.
Oh, yeah.
And because you feed, and so in the acting world, how's that? I'm sure there's not been any or hardly any since this happened. Is
No, there isn't been any work. The only work there is out there is voiceover work at the moment, because the film crews are not getting together, and the producers are not willing to come up with the money for a project they think may not be completed. So there's some going on out there, but. I've got a sitcom which we did last November, and I would love to see it begin to become assembled and do some of the retakes on it, see if we can get that thing out there. But it's all at a complete halt at the moment.
I got you. No, that's what I'm hearing. Well, you probably hear the music coming up just a little bit. So we'll have to get out of this segment, but hold on the line, Pat. I'm gonna do some quick engineering methods and producing, and get right back with you.
Show business.
All right, big man. Well, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on the great Super Talk 997 WTN. Coming at you live from Studio 3778. Coming back at you with Mr. Pat Riley. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah. That's I'm having to be the engineer, the producer, and the talent today. Or at least out here at the studio. You're going to have to come out in the studio, Pat.
I'd like to come out to the studio. Would they allow me in?
Oh, well, once we take your temperature, get you a shot, and put a mask on.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, last time I worked there, they changed the locks on my last day. So
That's got to be a bad feeling when you walk up to the place and there's nothing there.
Well, I can pick a lock.
Yeah.
SpiderPI.com.
Ah, good point. Good point. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see.
I don't want to go where I'm not wanted, though. So, but yeah, we'll have to come over there sometime. I'd kind of like to see the the old facilities again?
Oh yeah, no, you need to. We've got it dialed in with my studio. If you've seen some of the Facebook stuff, and you're gonna crack up on my beginning of Facebook today, because I'm not Facebooking live. I record it now because it's just too much to do it live and do all this and make sure it's all right without screwing the pooch, as they say.
Well, it gives them more chance to censor it.
Yeah, well, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. But but yeah, hang on. Let me just get this done. Make sure that's on. That's on. Put my earbud down here by the thing. So I gotta get the music where people on Facebook can hear it. I'm just not there yet. So here we go. We're gonna start this next one up. Let's see if we turn that up. Got that, and that. Got yours right. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and that's record. That's there. Put that about right there. And boom, there we go. You better believe it. We're back live from Studio 378 on Saturday, an hour early. You're listening to the Renovation Nation. Like I said, live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Just left that last segment. If you happen to catch that one, Mr. Pat Riley, Spider Eye Investigation. Is that correct, Pat?
Yes, yeah, we call it Spider Eye. It's actually Spider Investigations, SPYDERI, but I call it Spider Eye, or SpiderPI.com, either way.
SpiderPI.com.
There you go.
So what we were leaving there with a couple different things and talking off the air just for a second, and like I said, I gotta get you up here to the studio so we can have some fun. Let you come up here and see the hill on the hilltop at the undisclosed location. I'll have to blindfold you, bring you out here, but we'll get you here. If you hadn't already been watching me already out here, that's why I've got some binoculars and stuff, and I keep an eye out for you as well. I know you are, Pat. You sneaky.
A lot of people keep an eye out for me.
Well, go ahead.
I'll wear disguise. I'll wear hair next time.
Fair enough. We were talking about acting and comedians and how that's affecting. You were mentioning that. Where do you see that going? Do you see this stuff opening up and now more stuff coming at your way, or is it going to be a while?
It's really hard to tell. I got a call from my agent a couple of days ago, and she wanted me to do a voiceover presentation, and her opening line was, "Well, things are beginning to look up again." But I don't know what that means because I haven't heard anything specific. I go over all the websites, Christian movie websites. There's a number of them, the Nashville Theatrics website, and they all are postponing things or saying we have some possibilities for the future.
Well,
so
is
I
that
think
the
it's
new normal?
probably going to be the same situation as we see with the COVID virus, which is, when is this all going to be over? God only knows. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody knows.
I know one thing. I was talking to people the other day, and I've been out. We've gotten busier during this. I guess people are finally home, seeing the spots on their ceilings, and not getting their roof inspected yearly, and finally realized that's an issue and a problem. But
yeah, my son's in the real estate business, and he finds that he's busier than ever as well.
Well, you want me to tell you what's busy in the real estate industry right now?
What's that?
Land. And houses outside of the city with basements. And it makes sense. Everybody's moving out of, no one knows where it's going. You've got these riots from that despicable, I'm not even going to get into it because it's unheard of, but it just, something doesn't pass a smell test on that either, and it's sad. It's really sad what's going on. And then you got the people that's destroying their own neighborhoods, which I understand the frustration, but don't destroy your own house just to spite the man. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm a martial artist, longtime martial artist, ever since I was in the service. So it's many, many years. And I work with law enforcement people in the state police, people in the FBI, people who train the Secret Service. I mean, the absolute top echelon, the top people.
Right.
And every one of them is absolutely abhorred by what happened.
Yes.
There is also an element out there, and it seems to be more and more credible, that what is happening with these riots is the peaceful protests, as usual, have been taken over by an element which is not only violent, not only criminal, but also sponsored by some pretty diabolical people who would like nothing better than to see the United States come down into one big crumbling mass.
Yeah. No.
You don't have to believe that if you don't want. It's a conspiracy theory to many people, but we delve deeply into these things. We look we look behind the behind. I heard a preacher the other day, and he said, when I hear someone, I don't only listen to what they quote or who they are quoting. I go back and I research what that person they are quoting is quoting.
Right.
Until you go back and back and back until you find the original source of the information. That's when you find out the truth. Most people, unfortunately, don't have the time to delve too deeply beside underneath the facade, underneath the surface tension, and find out what truly is going on. But if you look deeply enough, you're going to find a can of worms down there that's more diabolical and more magnet-infested than you could possibly imagine.
You wouldn't even want, you don't even want to know if you really break it down. But
no, all you can do is trust God and say, please don't let this muck touch me.
Yes, and the thing bringing it back around to real estate, it's like title insurance. You've got to go back and back and back and track all the way back to make sure where the heart of the original title was, because you could buy something that someone else still already owns.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. If you listen to somebody's quote and go to that quote, you'll eventually get down to the original that someone owns or finally sold and gave you the right to use it. But
that's exactly right.
But
and then it's up to the individual to determine whether or not they even want to listen to it, because I find in society today that we are so polarized that even if you come up with an unequivocal fact to someone, if they don't want to believe it, they will not believe it.
Oh, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Obama or Clinton or Bush or Carter or Reagan or whoever. People have already got their perceived, or rightly or wrongly so, principles and thoughts on that. They're locked in stone. You're not going to change them. You can't pull water out of a rock.
Unless we're open-minded, unless we can see everyone's point of view, and go into the concept. I mean, I posted two things on Facebook in the last couple of days, besides the obvious of what's, the photographs of what's going on over there. And one of them was a black man and a white man hugging each other, for God's sake.
Yeah.
We can do that.
But no one wants to see that.
It's a cliche to say I have black friends, but by God, I've got black friends.
I do too.
And I've known them forever, and I'm crying out for peace between them. And I posted Martin Luther King's comments. He was a preacher. He believed in godliness. He believed in forgiveness and love for each other. If we can get to the point where we can just see that little inkling, that little quark of possibility of caring for each other, understanding and forgiving each other, we could get back to the garden.
Actually, you know what I think, Pat? That's exactly right. I agree with you 100%. But you know what I noticed? I got a scientific mind. I like to observe and watch and study and wonder why it does, things are the way they are, whatever it is, right? That when I go out and meet people, I don't see this. And I meet all types. I meet every nationality, every color, everything. I mean, from A to Z, from 20 years old to 90-year-olds. I'm out and at their homes. And everybody says exactly what you just said. But yet you don't see that presented to you on the TV, on the news, on whatever. I don't care what station. Forget Fox, forget CNN, forget all of them. I had a thing with the guy the other day, and it was about interjected about politics. I said, I don't give a crap about politics. This has nothing to do with politics. I let that go a while back, because you gotta let it go. If you don't like what you like, well, tough. Just wait 4 years, it'll change. So or 8, whatever. But it irks me that I don't know that many people that are that not angry, but when I meet them and we have a conversation, we agree. There's no disagreement when you sit and have a conversation with people. And it never even got to the point where it was debatable or even confrontational. It was just like what you're talking about now. I don't care what color they are or what nationality they are.
I was at a cast party a couple of years ago, and happened to mention the fact that it's hard for anyone really to have a reasonable conversation because there's always a but. Someone says something, and then somebody else says but, and will not listen to the rest of what you are saying. And I had someone sit down, he says, I will just sit and listen to you. And it was amazing.
But
I just talked, and they listened, and either nodded or did not, and then had what they had to say. And you know what? We walked away with an understanding of each other.
But you know what? It's also okay to walk away to agree to disagree.
Sure.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't
No,
mean you hate
no,
them and
there's
you're
some.
going to put them in a corner and tell them you're shunned from my existence. I mean, there are certain people you do that to. We all know them.
Absolutely.
But my point is that it's not it's I'm sick of media. I love technology. I love technology. It's a beautiful thing in the world, but in its advanced life beyond means. But it's also cutting back from the opposite side of that blade much deeper, in my opinion. That
Well,
it,
you got to listen to my new podcast. So I'm that 7 Media Intelligence, podbean.com, podben.com, because it's all about that. It's all about how technology is becoming our new God, and the new God is extremely corrupt.
Oh well, corrupt or not corrupt. See, that's the bad part. People think we live in a utopia, and we don't.
No,
In a perfect world, this would be amazing on both sides of the coin, right? But the
yeah,
good and the bad of the technology wouldn't happen because good people would do good things with it and not use it against you, like the FISA courts and all that other stuff. And I'm not
exactly.
even getting into that, but that's a good thing to have. It is for our protection. It is for this, but not when the wrong people have access to it. And it's the same with anything. To me, and that's the same with the media. It's not that wrong people have access to it. It's getting forced onto them, and a lot of people are ignorant. Now, let me say, I didn't say stupid. You can't fix
No.
stupid. You can fix
Mm-hmm.
ignorant. That's a lack of knowledge. You
That's
can
right.
educate. You can study. You can learn something, and then decide if you're stupid or still ignorant. But my point is that it doesn't. It just makes me want to throw stuff against the wall. Let me just say that it
Yeah.
just gets me riled up. But it is what it is sometimes, and we are where we are. So, like you said, you just gotta believe in God and trust your gut and love each other. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe in, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And I do believe that there's such a thing as Satan. And what I'm seeing is, diabolical means satanic. What I'm seeing out there in the world is satanic. And what we're seeing in the media right now is because when I started in the broadcasting business, small radio stations were popping up everywhere. There were mom and pop radio stations. And the national news media actually had a preponderance to tell the truth,
Yeah.
factually objective truth. What's happened now, because of the explosion of social media and the various media outlets, is all of these outlets now are gearing their programming toward their sponsors.
Well,
They want money, and
that
the only way they can get money is by gearing what they are saying, whether it's true or not, toward their audience, which will buy their products, and it's disgusting.
it is. It is. Well, hey, that's another quick segment. So, man, Pat, we're coming back. I'm holding you on one more. You gonna stay with me one more?
All right.
All right. Is that all right? Or like, all right, I'll say
Yeah,
one
that's fine.
more. I'll say one more. I'll sit here and talk to you. I love it, Pat. You're listening to Pat
You must be
Riley.
lonesome.
You're listening to Pat Riley, Spider Eye. We're gonna come back and see how I can spy on you. Well, I'll let him give you a few tricks of the trade. So, anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTM. We'll be right back. All right, that was a good one. So, boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I need to hang on. I need to X out of that. Go back here. I'm gonna go ahead and save my project right now. While I'm sitting here before I forget, because as soon as I get all this done, hey Pat, I was gonna pre-record all 2 weeks ago, and uh, this is when I was gonna go off with COVID, right? And let's see, what's the day? Day's what, the 29th or 30th?
Oh, I lost track. I don't know.
I'll put the 30th. I think it's the 30th, but I don't even know either. It's just they all run together. But I was doing a pre-record, and uh, the second segment was my best segment yet. I mean, I killed it, right? I mean, I was just giving them hell and all this and that. And I go back and I hit stop because I was seeing it, but then there was no way for him. And I was like, you're killing me. I always take my time now to make sure I'm getting everything right. And let's see, 'cause I don't want to stress out Kevin either. He's gonna be like, "Hey, man, I didn't get it." pull an old one. Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay. Well, let me. That's on. That's record. Let me turn this up. Right, and turn that down. Something like that. And I'm going to give this a little bit longer intro. This last segment's 10 minutes. That was two 12-minute segments already. That just blew by. But let's see, I got that. I do my own bump music now. I'll go ahead and put it in my pre's and post so I don't have to keep my timer on. Otherwise, I'll go like 20 minutes and be like, oh, crap. Kevin's not going to like it. Let's see, hit record on that. There we go. We got that. Check, check, check. Yes, we do. Okay, here we go, Pat. Let me get this rolling. And hit, right. That's good, that's good, that's good. Okay. You know it. You know it, know it. Rev it up. Listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7, coming to you from Studio 378. It's Renovation Nation, baby. It's a Saturday. Turn it up. Yeah, let's dial this back now after I've a little bit of clipping on that. If you got a pop on your radio, that was me. I tried to turn it up a little too loud like I used to doing live sound, live music. Back in the day, Pat, when you could see live bands. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, I remember that day, yeah. I used to MC those live bands.
I mixed them, played in them, had a bunch of fun with them. It makes you appreciate it. If you didn't know, if you just caught this last segment, you're listening to, Renovation Nation. I'm Chad Rowland, the host, owner of RTM Roofing, and sitting here talking with Pat Riley of Spider Eye and many, many, many other things. The man's a jack of all trades, master of a couple. I won't say master of none. I'll give you master of a couple. But we were just talking about the craziness, and this conversation has to be had, candid or not. I've debated on, we do renovations here, but you can renovate anything, and we're going to renovate some thought processes today, in my opinion.
It's amazing. I was thinking exactly the same thing. I hear the term Renovation Nation. I said, man, that should be the motto of our country.
Yeah, it's time to renovate it. Get it back to not what it was, but it was something good with some bad parts. Let's focus on the bad parts and renovate that and get it back to good, if that makes sense.
Let's get it back to what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Not to what it was, but what it was supposed to be. If you look at the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the United States is a perfect document for people who want to make up their own minds about what they believe, free of government influence, free of influence from the media domination, allowing you the freedom to understand your own will and to accomplish your will as long as you don't hurt other people. That's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, and now the part I have with that I agree with you, and it's amazing how that thing's been trampled on over the last years, but recently even more, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's my opinion, and I've got the right to it. But that just spaced me because that gets me fired up when I get about that because. There is a Constitution. The people about the mask wearing, right? You need to wear a mask to protect others. Wait a minute. Why now? The reason I say that, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't. But I'm saying why now? Then they say, oh, it's worse than the flu. Well, it is, but it isn't, right? It's not. If it is, it's not much worse than the flu. As far as total numbers, if the true stats, as we said earlier, are correct.
It appears to be more contagious than the flu.
Yes.
It does not appear to be more deadly than the flu if you look at the real information about who is getting it. People in nursing homes, people with pre-existing conditions, older people.
Yes.
These are the people who are dying, and in many cases, and you know this as well as I do, I have contacts with people in the medical industry, people who work in the medical industry, and they told me months ago when this first it came out that they were receiving texts and communiques from their officials saying, list it as COVID-19 even if it does not. I've seen the texts. I've seen interviews with doctors who are saying the same thing. They are told that they should attribute it to COVID-19 whether they can or not.
What does
that tell you? They're getting 3 times the amount of money. They're getting $39,000 every time it's COVID-19 as opposed to $12,000 if it's a damn heart attack. Who's suffering?
Yeah.
The people who can't go to the hospital now for other than COVID-19 diseases.
That's my thing.
Disgusting.
There's more people that's died at home because they don't want to go to it, and because they're afraid they're going to get it. But my thing is if you were asymptomatic with the flu at one point, everybody got in contact with the flu at one point this last fall. They did. They always do. You either fought it off and didn't know you had it, but yet you probably were able to spread it around, I would assume. Otherwise, how else does it go around? And if you could,
Hmm.
and I may be wrong, but if you could, were you worried about picking up that can of beans at Kroger's and then putting the can of beans back, and then the next person, older, elderly, immune system deficient, whatever, gets it and ends up dying from it?
First of all, we
Didn't
hear
think
that
about that. So don't tell me now to
everybody's
think about
supposed
it.
to be. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I said that used to. Why are you thinking about it now when you didn't think about it then? Or when you're at the bar and had 4 or 5 drinks and drove home, would you think about other people's safety then? That's what. No, I don't. It does. It defies all logic to me. But go ahead, Pat.
Yeah,
I've read on my
well,
box.
logic is not really the point here, is it? It's
No, it's
just
not.
total absolute chaos and confusion. But look at the different reports coming out from the CDC. We're supposed to be wearing a mask. We're supposed to be washing things down because it can be transmitted through the surface. They tell you to wear a rubber glove. I talk to medical healthcare professionals. You know what it means to wear a rubber glove? A rubber glove.
Single use
It means that you
application.
can transmit the virus with a rubber glove as opposed to your fingers.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all it means. Now the CDC is saying that it can't be transmitted by a solid surface. And
It's true.
my God,
It's
the
true
World
not.
Health Organization comes out. The World Health Organization comes out yesterday and says that wearing a mask should only be for healthcare professionals because they know how to deal with it. They know how to sterilize them. They know how to dispose of them. They know how to fit them properly.
And they're actual proper masks too, not a shirt that looks like a full
Yes,
bandana.
this is for specific purposes, and for everybody to walk around with a mask on their face is not only bizarre, uncomfortable, and
Unhealthy.
unhealthy, but
Yeah.
it's just falling into this trap that every time someone with an initial connected with their name tells you to do something, that you have to do it. Otherwise, somebody's going to pull down their mask and call you.
No, no,
Call you
no. I'll give you better than that. I'll give you better than that. Anybody's got a name tag or something on their shirt, you're going to listen to. You're conditioned to do that. You can have an 18-year-old with a name tag at somewhere, and he starts telling people what to do. People listen. Now, I ain't saying nothing bad about the 18-year-old, but I'm just saying it doesn't take much, as you can tell now, for people to follow.
Well, you talk about PI tips. I'll tell you a PI tip, which probably everybody who's ever watched a cop show knows about, or a PI show, which is if you dress the part, people are going to believe you.
Always.
You go in there with a hat. I got a.
You know what that's called,
I
Pat?
have
That's
got
called
a,
hiding in plain sight.
hiding in plain sight. It's the limbic mind.
Yep.
Which is what the martial arts refer to it sometimes, which is your initial instinct, which is usually the wrong. And if you can get around that, by my heavens, you can accomplish about anything.
Well,
When you wear a
there's
different hat, people
Yeah.
are going to say they're going to believe the hat. You wear a suit, people are going to believe the suit. It's amazing.
That's right. You saw Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a prime example. You just got what it is. I'll go back farther than that. It's the old rock and roll method. The reason you can get backstage a lot of times, you just got to act like you're supposed to be there.
That's right.
Tag or no tag. If you can get in, then you walk down through there, and then someone's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking for Paul. Where's Paul at?"
You got it.
And just keep walking, and they're like, "Oh, I ain't getting in his way."
First thing we ever learned in the PI business. As a matter of fact, even when we were in the basic training, we're supposed to be out there cleaning out the barracks, and we'd take one of those butt cans, as though the cliche was walk rapidly and carry a big cover sheet so it looks like you're doing something.
There was a guy on a job site years ago I was on. I didn't get down there, but they finally found him. He'd walked around that job site. There were so many people working. All he did was carry a 2x4 on his shoulder and walked around the whole time. Walked around.
That's
What
what
are
you
you
have
doing?
to
I'm
do.
taking this over there. What are you doing? They need it over there. That's all he did. Till by the end of it, when they finally caught him, he was using the same 2x4, and it was almost rubbed smooth where he'd been holding it and carrying it for like 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah. You think when you walk through the barracks, you get a butt can, you go out there and you throw in the dumpster and you walk on. It's
Well, you know what I say? I say that if you're that smart to do that, it's like a criminal. If you're that smart, there are too many variables that eventually won't bust you. But if you're that brilliant to plan that out that strategically, if you just spun that in the positive direction and did something legal, you would be a multimillionaire.
the thing is, you don't get the buzz.
You don't cheat the system. And that's
You don't get the buzz.
That's
You gotta
right.
have the buzz. These people are doing it because they want to get away with something. I think that's probably the reason why a lot of people get into the PI or the espionage business, because they want to get away with something, but they want to get away with it legally.
Right. There is something to that. That's called human
Oh, yeah.
life. That's why we can't sit in our houses in bubbles. That's why we did. That's why Columbus sailed the seas. It is that rush and
It
that
is.
intrigueness and curiosity that sometimes kills the cat.
It's a new high. It's a Jackie Wilson high.
Well,
It's a Sly and the Family Stone high, higher and higher.
well, you know what time it is? It's that time, Pat, and he will
Oh,
cut me off here in about 45 seconds. But
right.
you've been listening to Spider Eye, Mr. Pat Riley with Spider Eye. Give us a number, Pat.
A number?
Yeah, how can people reach you? Or
Oh, well, just go to the website. It's spyderpi.com. Contact information is there.
and,
You give
and
it.
and there it is. If you can't reach him, you can always reach me at R10 Roofing 615-500-0751, and we'll get you his information.
Oh, I'm not hard. I'm not hard to get a hold of. If you need something, feel free to call me.
Yeah, but you're hard to find though. Ha! So can't
Well,
find you in the crowd.
can't.
Can't find you in the crowd. Pat, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna
right,
get
brother.
some segments and I'm gonna start adding something to this and get you in a little bit and see if we can't talk about some things.
Well, it was fun, and I hope maybe some people were, got an idea, maybe think differently about some things. Be
You
nice.
got it. Well, hey, love you, brother. Talk to you soon.
God bless you, brother.
All right, man.
Yeah.
You're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99 WTN 997. See you next week. Boom. That's that. You guys have a good one. That was a fun show. We'll come back with some bunch of different things next week. Add in some new. I don't know. We'll see what I pull out of my hat. IKO.